Also, my video is acting funny, but let me see if I can. Let me just switch it to another video. Yeah, this one is very blurry, but sure. You can hear me very well though, right?
Yeah, and I hear you very clear.
Okay, great. So we have a very short time. So I have like a structure for how the session will go so that you can maximize the time. So can you introduce yourself? Can you just tell me about your past, your present, and what you're hoping to achieve in the future? Things like that. Just want to know where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm Kayode. I live Olabode County, native of Osun State, Nigeria. So far, so good. I've been in design for 2 years now, 2 years and 7 months. I think March to 2000. I can remember, although I've been in tech for like 5 years now. I started with robotics tech for COVID-19 pushed me to what's it called, design. Because I wanted to get a board then, Raspberry Pi. I wanted to get a board, but it was very expensive. So I was like, let me just try what's it called? I just try maybe web design, to get some money in web design and go back to robotics. I never knew that that would be the end of robotics. Like, although probably when I want to proceed for my education, I will still go to robotics because it's kind of in line with my course of study. So from web design, I entered graphics. So I now saw Adobe XD with the hope of using it to make illustrations using I forgot the name of this illustration library. So I now saw that it was used for UI. So I was just trying it, following some YouTube videos. Alongside, I was applying for all this was internship. So lucky enough, it was then I was able to get the one from GIG, Nerd Factory and all this. That was how I was able to meet you from there. So it was then I knew, okay, fine, this is interesting. Because my intention was just to do design and go back to robotics. But until now, I've not even touched robotics for once. I haven't forgotten all the programming languages, Python, plus everything. I've forgotten. Like I can't remember again. Hopefully by the time I carry it, I can still get something. So that was how I started design. And a year ago, I was able to get a job with one country based abroad, USA, one USA, one is it medical, yeah. But it was majorly UI, so it was really killing my US. I find it difficult to make research, and the job was so hectic that I find it difficult to get freelance job and join it together. So it was taking too much time, and it was mostly UI, and I don't even understand what I was doing because it was a medical stuff. So there are so many things that teaching me through. Like I find it too difficult to understand. So this month, as of this year rather, oh God, my contract was terminated. I was able to be free then, and I also started learning here. But then I now reached out to you then that I would like to train myself up again because I don't really know what to do. Yeah, so Lord, thank God that now said there was a free, at least this is a great opportunity. That's just the journey so far. So far so good. I can't really say I have the case study. That's one of the things that is so annoying because the company was just UI. There's no time for research, they just tell you, okay, daily stand up, what's the UI you are doing. You can finish the UI 3 weeks or 3 months later, they now call you back. There's a mistake. How do you want me to, there was no enough research. They were the ones doing the research, giving us what to do. And since it's my first part, it's not really something I'm familiar with. It was just giving me unnecessary headache, and they were too stressful. The pay was not making sense at all. Despite the fact that their base abroad, their pay was so annoying, so annoying. So until August, when I stopped, he said I was even happy. I've never heard of that before. That you're happy you're leaving the job. I was happy that yes, I'll be free. So since then, I've been trying to work on my US. And lucky enough, I was able to get a freelance job working. But I still find it difficult a lot. Yes, because for like 9 months, because I started last year December and I stopped August. So I didn't get into the US. I was literally Currently, I don't have any portfolio I can say to this is the case study I've truly worked with so far so good. That's one of the things I want to avoid next year. That's why one of the things I reach out to that I will go for my US, then probably have a case study, develop my portfolio, and then start proceeding like that. So that's the journey so far. Then I'm into graphics. I do graphic designing. So that's just my journey so far in that.
Okay. Interesting. So the job that you got, that you said it was a US based company, right?
Yeah.
How much were they paying?
They were paying 50,000 naira per month.
What?
50,
50,000
0.
naira? Was
Yes.
so the owners of the company, are they Nigerians?
Yeah, that's the first. They are Nigerians. They are Nigerians. So
then,
they know how things go in Nigeria. So that's why they are doing it that way.
wow,
So they are Nigerians. It was a
50,000
part-time thing.
naira.
Seriously. It
That's
was
how much. Ah, that's
I don't
ridiculous.
think I don't even there was a time that dollar was kind of high, I think up to 7 something. So we were even thinking that they will upgrade this thing to maybe 100. But funny enough, we happen to have someone then who happened to be the senior, like she happened to be the senior anyway. But by the time I later find out that she works from 9 in the morning to 6 in the evening, they are paying now 120. I was like, I don't know, but this is underpaid. To me, he will be the one to do daily stand-up for the ladies one for the lady. Although they are still there because I have someone there, but that one said he's also resigning this one that is fed up with because they said they later upgraded the salary to what 50,000 there. I was like, what kind of upgrade is that one? But I've been enjoying myself. At least I'm free to get job. At least I was able to get a job recently of maybe 120,000 naira, and I'm doing it at my own pace, no stress. I'm able to take my US and gradually, but I needed to know more, to know what the latest thing and method, faster way to do things now, so that I can get a accurate and provide a solution that will work
Okay.
for the problem.
So speaking of UX design, so what exactly have you been doing now to improve yourself in that regard?
Let me say, just watching other videos because one issue I have generally is reading books, which I'm trying to work recently. At least I was reading a book by I forgot his name. Like all these UI stuff. I don't know the guy's name, but I think Michael is one of them. So I'm trying to read books, but I felt if I can see somebody that will hold my hand and show me the way, at least give me instructions, these are what you should do, this is what you should do, I will be happy. And I will be taking it more serious than doing it at my own pace. So literally, let me just be working with it. Then the project I said I have. But it was when I started working on that project I realized that I've been because I hardly remember something. I had to even go back to some things sort of so I could find a way through that thing. So that's just
Okay. So do you have a CV?
yes, I have it. I have it.
Okay. Do you have a link to the CV?
Yes,
Please
I have
drop
a
it
link.
here. Please drop it in the chat section. Let me have a look at it. Then do you have a portfolio?
Like I said, I don't really have any tips for it. So the portfolio I even have is just having maybe one or two screens, and portfolio is not just you
So
have you have to do the
please
project.
let me still see it. I'd still like to see it. So send me the links of the CV and portfolio. Um, so what's your goal for 2023?
My goal
Yeah,
is
while you're
number one.
getting the links, just if you can tell me your goals.
Yeah, my goal is number one to improve generally on my UX part. And then my UI part is kind of okay. This I know how to do, but I want to learn, how to design professionally, especially how to design such that the developer will not be giving you problems because that's another aspect to do. So we're telling you the different aspects to do this. So I want to understand if it requires me to even learn some basic coding, I don't mind. But I want to make sure I see how I can do to get the basics of all those professional design so that developer will not be disturbing you too much. So that's just my plan. Improve my UX, my UI. I want to learn how to design professional. Hopefully, after that, get a well-paid, not stressful job. So those are my three plans. But let me say go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm waiting for the links.
Yeah, I'm coming. I want to get one from my WhatsApp. I'm here to collect my WhatsApp.
You're doing what?
I said I'm trying to get it from my WhatsApp account,
Okay.
and I'm yet to connect my WhatsApp to the laptop. But just power it on.
All right, that's fine. So I am currently looking at your your LinkedIn profile, and yeah, there are just some things you could improve on. So let me see your CV and portfolio first before I
All right.
share some of those observations. Yeah. So while I'm still waiting for those, I have some other questions for you. So are you currently applying for jobs?
I've stopped because I feel that I needed to learn more. I've stopped. I was applying immediately. I was stopped from that other company. But by the time I got the job, I said I'm still working on. I realized that I still have a lot to work on. So I just decided to stop and see if I can get a standard training. I can train myself in then I can start working. Applying for jobs. So,
Okay. So when you were applying for those jobs, where were you applying from? What platforms? What kind of companies?
most of the time I apply for companies that doesn't have anything to do with um, medical companies. Once I see medical, I don't go there. And once I see anything that has to do with maybe blockchain, all these forex stuff, because I don't really know much about it, so I don't go that. But other sectors like maybe agri education or something, or maybe just normal programming sector, I do apply. So I kind of
On what platforms were you applying for these jobs?
There were some platforms I saw them. One smart.me, so many platforms. But literally, I do apply sometimes on LinkedIn. There are some that just give you a normal Google form to fill. So I can't really say, but most of the time, when I can really say I do apply from is LinkedIn, and then maybe through mail, send emails to them. That's basically the two platforms I take for
Okay.
public.
All right. Do you have the links now?
The next one is that
What exactly are you doing? Why don't you have your links?
and the issue now is the one I have the link is for resume, not for CV. So I'm just
It's
trying
for
to
what?
upload my resume.
What's the difference between resume and CV?
I thought resume is just a summary of the CV. I don't know if I'm correct.
See, you say resume is what?
I felt resume should be a summary of your CV, like
Yeah, so
taking the
send whichever one you have. Just send me with anything you have right now. You know, we don't have very much time. So
okay.
just send me any links you have. Let me just have a look at something. When you were applying for jobs, were you using cover letters?
Yes, I do use cover letter.
Okay, so you have your cover letter as well.
Yes. I didn't have a lot like that, just one or two. I just edit and the
Is this
structure.
something I can see now?
Okay, this is the link to the CV. Let me get the cover letter.
All right. Oh, it says I need access.
You can try now. Your resume was.
Okay. All right, I'm looking at it. All right. So let me know when you have your cover letter.
Almost.
Okay, so what I have been able to gain from this session is that you are trying to level up your UX design skills, and thereafter you want to get a job. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I asked several of these questions is because I'm trying to do something that I call diagnosis, like a doctor, really. So so that I can know, so I can understand your past and understand your present and see how this can link to the future, and also to see if I can help you at this point in time. So some of the things I've noticed is that at this point in time, you do not have too much confidence in your UX skills, whether you truly have the skills or you don't have the skills is a different thing altogether, but you are not confident about it. Also, I looked at your, I've looked at your CV, the link you sent to me, your CV, I think. There are things that are kind of missing, or your CV needs some work, let me just say it that way. For instance, looking at the particle profile, I guess that should be like summary. So there's no reason to have started your summary with graduated with Bachelor in Agricultural Engineering. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant to the job, to a design job, really. Even from the top of your CV, your date of birth, irrelevant. The languages you speak, irrelevant. There's a lot of irrelevant things. You don't need to tell anyone your state. Only one phone number is enough. As a matter of fact, you might not even need phone number. Your LinkedIn profile, that's good, but there's a lot of stuff that are not supposed to be there. What you are communicating with your CV right now is that you don't actually understand UX design, because when you design your CV, or when you create your CV for a job, or when you submit it, you need to think from the angle of the recruiter or the HR manager that is going to look at it, because like you have to create your CV as if you are creating a product for a user. That is exactly how your CV, your portfolio, everything basically you put together for an application. That's how it should be. So glancing through, you only, like under experience now, you've only listed the actual, like the company, or you did intern here, you did full-time here, blah blah blah. But that's not relevant actually. That's not even the real information that a recruiter is looking for. They want to know the impact you had within that company. They want to know the impact you had within that team. What did you do exactly? That's just what they're interested in. So they want to see how what you've done in the past can help them in the future. That's just it. How can you help them make money? So your CV is lacking in that regard. It doesn't communicate that. So there are also a lot of things. The organization of your CV too is wrong. What the most important things are you think that should be closest to the, like on the first page? For instance, your experience is more important than your education. They don't care. No one care that you have a second class upper. In short, whether you went to school or you did not go to school, it's irrelevant in getting a UX design job. So, or even a UI design job. So all you need to look at those primary school, secondary school, completely remove it. Nobody cares. So that's just your CV. I've not been able to look at even the case study you said you were put, even though if it is not much, but I was hoping to see that. But for yeah.
I said I don't have any case study. Like it's just UI. That's why I said
Your case study, anything. I told you I wanted to see something, but you don't have that now, so that's fine. But looking
let
at
me get.
looking at the cover letter you've sent, Okay, so while this is not too bad, what a cover letter is supposed to do is to speak in your voice, introduce you to the recruiter or the HR manager in your own voice. It's like your voice in the room when you're not there. Remember that when you send in your application, it's not just you sending it. Maybe hundreds or even thousands of other people are sending it. So it needs to be unique. A lot of things you've put in your cover letter is not necessary. That last paragraph, or here are my contacts, irrelevant. What you should be.
That was the
What do you say?
it was a request on their own end.
Okay, for that particular one. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Okay. So, hi Roberta, I hope you're doing great. I came across your job posting on the platform and I see that you're hiring a graphic designer, which I'm very interested. I'm Olabode, blah blah blah. You don't need to mention your name. They already know your name. From your application, they know your name. I'm a UX and graphic designer with more than 2 years of experience, adequate experience using nope. So no one cares about the tools you use. It's not about the tools you use, it's about you need to be able to reword your cover letter in a way that communicates the value you can bring to the company, how you can help them make more money. How have you done it in the past? What kind of work have you done? What kind of projects across what kind of industries? Something like that. That's what they're interested in knowing, um yeah, okay, mentioning that you have more than 2 years of experience, it's not too bad, but there's no point in mentioning it. I think it starts to, the years of experience you've had starts to make sense. If it's like maybe up to 5 years, that's when you can say, oh, it's a point that I want to bring up, but then it's not really relevant. It needs to be as short as possible. Then saying that, please let me know if you'd like to know more. Attached to this mail with my resume and portfolio. Just put the link there. Here is my portfolio. There's the link to my portfolio. That's just it. Because you need to let it be in their face all the time. I mean, in case you've missed it, they've missed it in the whole of your application. You put it in your cover letter. That's just how to do it. Then you can't just say, I'm quite sure that my joining the team will bring the team to its optimum yield. How? How will you do that? Why should they hire you? The whole point of the cover letter is to answer the question, why should you be hired? That's just it. Why should we hire you? If your cover letter is not answering that question, you've not written a proper cover letter. And the way you start your cover letter is very, very important because it's like a hook. If you don't start it in an interesting way, to just blend with everybody else's application. So those are some things to look out for in your cover letter. Now, what I've been trying to do, like I said, is like a diagnosis. There'll be 4 other sessions that would be starting in January, and most likely first week in January. And these sessions there will not be a session where I'll be teaching you the basics of product design or UX design. No, I won't be teaching that. I'll be expecting you to do that on your own. I also would not be helping out in redesigning or recreating your portfolio or your CV for you or helping you do some of these things. No, I'll be assisting, I'll be helping you, I'll be doing it with you, but not for you. Yeah, and these 4 sessions will be more of like a transformational coaching where I'll be sharing with you the platforms that you should be on to be able to get the kind of job you want. Your LinkedIn profile be assisting you in like optimizing that. Your CV, like I've already looked at some things that needs to be upgraded. So I'll assist you with cleaning that up. Same thing with your portfolio. So I would actually be expecting you before the session starts to work on some case studies. It is not difficult to find problems around you. At least 2 case studies. It's not difficult. You don't need to do the whole extent of everything up onto UI design and testing. Not every problem is a UI design problem. But most problems are UX problems, but not necessarily UI. It's not everything you need to design something in Figma. Is to document your thought process. That's the idea behind a case study. It's from the very beginning of spotting the problem. How did you validate that this is a real problem? Was it just a problem for you? Was it something that came from you? Did you do interview? Did you talk to some people? How did you go about it? What were you trying to find out? After you did that, what were the ideas that came up to solve the problem? It's just a thought process. That is what a case study is. It's nothing fancy. It's just put together your thought process for finding out a problem up onto solving the problem. That is just it. Even if it is a problem that needs UI design and in the scope of time, you've not been able to do it yet, you can note it down there on the last page of that, on the last screen of the case study, saying, or the last page saying, oh, the next steps for me are to design a UI, to do a UI design. It's still a case study, regardless. So other things within this coaching session would be to assist you in optimizing your cover letter as well. If you are proactive enough to start applying for jobs, I could help with mock interviews and just basically helping you know preparing you for what a recruiter is interested in for a job. Job links, not necessarily because you can't find these job links out there, but because you need to be able to tell the difference between a one chance job and a real job. Like the way you describe that US job you got, it sounds like a one chance job. So by reading through the job description and even certain things during an interview, you should be able to tell the difference between a proper job and one that's just going to be a waste of your time. And lastly, there are specializations in UX design based on your interest and also based on your personality. So I'll be assisting you in kind of streamlining your possible the possible specializations within UX design. So these are some of the things that the coaching session will be about. It's not going to be free. It's not a free session, and it's going to be a group. It's going to be a group session of just between 5 to 10 people. Very small group session. It's not going to, like I said earlier, it's not one that I'll be teaching you product design or how do you use Figma, all those kind of things. No, I won't be teaching any of that. Of course, there'll be times where I see some of your designs or I see some of your case studies you've compiled and I have suggestions for how to improve it, definitely. So the session is the whole 4 sessions cost £100. I don't know what the exchange rate is right now. Last I checked, it was maybe 90K or 80 something K, I don't know, something around that. So it's going to be £100. What I will do next is to send you an email with a summary of this discussion and what your next steps could be. But I should send an email. If not tonight, tomorrow, you should receive the email. And that's it. We're actually out of time, but I'd like to, if you have any questions, let me know now.
I don't have now.
What do you say?
I don't have any for now.
Okay, awesome. So what I would recommend for you, first, initially, like I said, is go ahead, pick up some content. There's actually a good amount of free content on YouTube that you can just go ahead to find out. For instance, you can check how to create a research plan, how to carry out a research. How do you carry out interviews? There are small kind of videos already on YouTube. You can check out this YouTube channel, Norman Group. I don't remember their name exactly, but it's by, I think, Nielsen Norman's company. So you can check out that. There are several actually. Just go online and do your research, gain some of those knowledge you think you don't have. I suspect that you have some of this knowledge, but you just not applied it. So what I would recommend the most is to pick up a case study and just get started, start doing something. You cannot learn by just reading books or just watching video. Is to do. By now, since I've known you, I expect that by now you should have several case studies, and it's not a lack of not getting a company to work with. It is actually all on you for you to be observant enough to see problems around you and try to profess some solution. That's just how to build your portfolio, right? So So I think that's it for now. If you have any other questions, feel free to just email back. Yeah.
All right.
And I'll be willing to respond. So there was one question I wanted to ask you. What's your salary expectation for your next job?
Oh, maybe 150, at least 150.
Okay, so you're expecting at least 150K. Okay. Well, so what I would say to that is that 150K is almost nothing. The reason is because getting a good job is not dependent on how many years you've been doing something, but the quality of your portfolio, which is why I keep on sending you back to case studies. So it's your quality of your portfolio. If you have three quality projects in your portfolio, you can get a job that will be paying you thousands of dollars per month. We are not talking, what's 150K? That's nothing. So, but it is all on you to do the hard work. It is on you to do the work. If you are going to specialize on in, say, interaction design, for instance, it's on you to do your work. If it is UX research that you want to start working on, if it's a project on, there are so many problems. If you look around you, if you just think about it for like 5-10 minutes, you begin to remember problems that you are experiencing day to day, or a friend is experiencing, or a mom or a brother or a sister, and you prefer a solution to it. You document the process, and that is it. That's the case study. So thank you very much for this session. And all right. Should I expect you in January for the January session?
Yeah, for sure. I don't miss that. Yeah.
What do you say?
I said I'll be available.
Oh, okay, awesome. Well, expect the email maybe by tomorrow. In the email, you should have like information on things that you need to do, and even maybe deadline for payment. Oh yeah, speaking of deadline for payment, I have a deadline because there are certain things I need to get done before we start the session, and if you don't do those things, I will not admit you, regardless of the money you've paid. You will not start the session with us, because I need the session to be as impactful for the people that are in the session as much as possible. So that's why there has to be a deadline, probably sometime around Christmas. And yeah. All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Yeah.